Just because estudyante pa ako, doesn't mean I can't go off chasing my dreams.
Just because kasal na kami, doesn't mean we can't embark on a new journey.
Just because single parent ako, doesn't mean I can't go off on adventures.
Just because may edad na ako, doesn't mean I can't look for new experiences.
Just because single ako, doesn't mean I'm lonely.
And just because I'm on a budget, doesn't mean I can't experience the finer things in life.
That's why at AirAsia, we believe that when it comes to your dreams, no one should settle for anything less than what they deserve. That's why even if you pay less, doesn't mean it has to be less convenient. It doesn't mean you get less comfort. It doesn't mean you can't be treated like a VIP. Because whatever the price, getting you to your dreams shouldn't feel anything less than a luxury. AirAsia, the world's best low-cost airline.
Good morning, everyone. Another Tuesday, October 13. This is the second episode of Planet 63. Again, I'm your coach, Jonathan, the managing partner of Planet 63. So what do we expect today? We're going to expect a lot of news and information about who Planet 63 is, what have we been doing for the past years. And of course, with us again is the founder and CEO of Planet 63, Mr. Ferdinand Soriano. Good morning, Ferdinand. How are you?
Well, good morning to you, Jonathan, but it is good afternoon definitely here in Los Angeles, California, home of the Lakers.
Yes, congratulations, Lakers. Correct. So, correct. So, Bong, let's start this show because I think we have a wonderful guest this morning. No, morning here in the Philippines, of course, afternoon there in the US. And can we tell them, because we have been getting questions, since the first episode, and this is our second episode. What really is Planet 63 all about? Why did you create Planet 63?
I know we only have an hour show, so I can only tell you the very brief reason. Basically, I created Planet 63 to be able to empower and help Philippine manufacturers to confidently export to the U.S. market. And then as it progressed, I said to myself, there's an opportunity for U.S. manufacturers to also go to the Philippine market.
Correct. Because basically we are, Planet 63, we are going to showcase, right? Just today, we're going to showcase Philippine manufacturers, products coming from the Philippines. So ito yung mga produkto po na talagang galing sa Pilipinas para sa buong mundo. Because last week, Ferdinand, right? We showcased products from the US, which we say products for the Filipinos, right? And do you think there will be challenges? Because as I was talking to our guest this morning, she was telling me about, of course, the rules and regulations in terms of products that you would like to bring out of the Philippines, export. And of course, at the same time, I was telling you, there are also some, should we say, challenges in bringing in products into the Philippines. Are there challenges, Ferdinand? What do you think are the challenges for challenges and opportunities as well for the Philippine manufacturers?
Well, you have to look from a different perspectives. I mean, there's always challenges to everything, right? So to me, the most obvious challenge for any exporters right now is really when it comes to food. I would probably say the Food and Drug Administration, and also logistics in terms of how long it gets here. Usually, it's taken anywhere, depending from who the couriers are, anywhere from 5 to 6 weeks, maybe even earlier. I'm being conservative, but that's probably where you're seeing a lot of bottleneck in terms of being able to go ahead and bring products into the U.S.
Correct. Yeah, but let's say, what advice can you give to, let's say, a newbie in export, right? Because you've been in the business for 10 years, right? More than 10 years.
Pretty much.
Correct. So for newbies right now, for new players, especially in this new economy, right, in the new normal, what advice can you give in terms of them really, should we say, pursuing their export business?
Well, I think most of the time you're going to get into. I seem to be having a little bit of a technical difficulty, but it seems like what you're needing to do is do your homework. Going into
Okay.
the U.S. market can be very lucrative. A lot of people think that they can just try the market and see how it goes, but you really, really have to plan it out. When it comes to
Mm,
food, the most difficult thing is really the food and drug because a lot of manufacturers they don't pay attention to that, and sometimes
correct.
the requirements can be a little bit strict. But if you do your research, there are people like Planet 63 who can help you with that. And
Correct.
also logistics. That's why I created Planet 63 is to be able to do all of that. But a lot of manufacturers I see that they don't take the time to learn. And
Mm,
if you're going to invest in a lot of opportunity, invest in the opportunity to go into the US, you have to do your homework a little bit.
correct. That's why, as you mentioned, that's why Planet 63 is here. No, by the way, we would like to greet our kababayans because we have a network with the academy. Remember, I was telling you, and we have people watching from Hong Kong right now because basically most of our OFs, some of them have been in, outside the Philippines for, because you see, Bong Ferdinand. No, this is the thing right now. I was talking to a per- to a manufacturer from Iloilo. Remember, I texted you last night,
Oh, definitely.
right? They have a farm. They have a cacao farm. That's why I was telling you, asking you if there's still a big opportunity for a cacao industry, right, in the U.S. because they have a big farm and they are starting to harvest and all, but they'd like to bring their production into the next level. But they're asking our company how we can help them, or they're asking for consulting, how we can help them in terms of expanding their product, let's say in the US. Because most of our overseas Filipinos, let's say it, and this is a good news for everyone, for Filipinos especially, most of our OFs, right, who's been there for 10, 20 years, are going to be back, right, in the next few months or in the next year. I don't know if people are aware of this, but some of our OFs, overseas Filipinos, right, in Asia, who came, most of them came from the provinces. They own, big, big, big chunks of land. And for sure, our guests can attest to this as well, that these OFs that we have right now in Asia are, they have like hectares of lands in their respective provinces. So they would like to go back, but of course they're asking us how we can help them. That once they go back, right? How can they still continue, right? Of course, being productive and profitable as well. That was I was telling them, this will be a big help. Malaking tulong po itong Planet 63. That's why Ferdinand Soriano, who founded this in the US, collaborated with our company here and appointed us as their managing partners here for, specifically for to help Filipinos to do their homework, as you say, right? To do their homework, that before you invest, or before you put in your money, because export is not that easy, right, Ferdinand? I mean, it's not an easy, especially in this new economy. So what can you suggest, these newbies, especially, you have to take to consideration that these are overseas Filipinos for the past 15, 20 years.
First, I want to ask you, can you hear me okay?
Very good. Loud and clear.
If we're going to stick with what you said earlier about the Iloilo, I mean, the cacao, I think that's what you're saying. People start off with a certain expectation of what they think exporting is all about. Exporting is something that you would find very lucrative if
Hmm.
you know already the market. The issue with a lot of Philippine manufacturers is that they're hesitant to export their products because they don't know the market. Okay,
Correct.
and to me, I can tell you from being in the U.S., especially specifically for cacao, cacao is
Hmm.
an amazing industry for any of the products to go into the U.S. Okay, it's chocolate. Who doesn't like chocolate? The U.S.
Wow.
market just loves chocolate. But what you need to do is make sure that all of the products that you export of high quality, focus on that. Just like our guest, she
Yeah.
focused on quality,
Yeah.
she focused on sustainability, and I think that's why she's doing well, with the exception because of what's happening with COVID. other than that, to me, you always want to connect with the DTIs of the world. You get a mentor like you, Jonathan, and also consult with people like me, and then
Yep.
make sure that you have somebody in the US can look after once
Sure.
you're already here or thinking about.
Correct. Because this is what I've been always telling them, right? Uh, because at the academy, right, the training hub for entrepreneurship, we always tell them creating a product or a service is one thing, right? Developing it is another thing. Growing it is another thing. But sustaining its growth is really the key to your business, right?
Correct.
Sustainability, right? Who would ever think that COVID, uh this pandemic will hit us, right? Globally, who would ever think about it? But of course, if you are still surviving now or is trying to manage to the next level and thrive, I think this is a good news for you. But I got your point there, Bong, no? Napakaganda na yung mga kakao po, mga kababayan, ano? Kasi ang dami rito, Bong, no? Ang dami talaga. Kakao, peanut butter. I don't know if you're aware that Iloilo is one of the largest producing or one of the when it comes to area, no, production and all, they have a big potential really for cacao. I was there. I was invited by the governor last year, and we launched the Young Entrepreneurship Project to 30 plus barangays, and each barangay has a capacity to really do the import or the export. Because imagine, Ferdinand, no, and for those of you watching right now, there's a big potential in Iloilo right now specifically. If you wish to do production, no, if you want to produce, like cacao or peanuts, no, there are a lot of things you can do. By the way, Marvin De Silva, Coach Marvin is watching us right now. Thank you so much for watching, Coach Marvin. Of course, Reka Velez from Hong Kong, and all our students of the academy. Of course, Henry Almonte and Ronnie Gawat, all the way from San Francisco, who's watching us right now. So maybe, Ferdinand, before we introduce our next speaker, I think we'll pause for now. No, we'll pause for now, and let's I'd like to meet our guest right now, because last week it's all about U.S. product and services, right? The wine and the education part. But this time, of course, with our very, very special guest, then we will learn more about what she's been doing, what's his vision, and how she sees, of course, Planet 63 as a great partner, no, in pursuing, or of course in still growing his already established business. So we will be back. This is Coach Jonathan, Planet 63, products from the Philippines, products for the Filipinos.
Well, make your money. Well, make your money. Well, make your money.
So Ferdinand, we're back again. Magandang umaga po sa ating mga kababayan dito sa Pilipinas. Ang oras po natin ay 45 minuto makalipas ang 8 ng umaga. Can you still say that, Ferdinand?
No, I can. I'll leave that up to you. I'll just say hello, everybody.
Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Ayan. I think Ferdinand was in the US like for what, 40 plus years?
Pretty much. I can pretty much still understand you. But Jonathan, before we introduce our guest, I do want to say something about the agriculture.
Sure.
Because even though I've been in exporting for a while, my biggest passion right now is really showcasing Philippine agriculture and ingredients. Okay. That everybody has to understand is the Philippines, because I belong to a school here called Cal State University San Bernardino, and they created a report that basically says that the Philippines is a force to be reckoned with when it comes to agriculture. There are so many amazing ingredients in the Philippines that it just takes everyone to just really focus on quality and delivering it well in terms of the supply chain. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say, and really encourage everyone.
Sure. Just imagine, Ferdinand, no, before we take a break, we have Coach RG Bacalian. No? Good morning from Iloilo. See? See, they're so aware because I really, that's one thing that I really saw when we did that workshop with the youth. You know, you have the manpower, you have the resources, the products, of course, the IQ, the EQ, the AQ. What we need is an assembly line, right? A
Correct.
production. And this is open, of course, for everyone else. Also, thank you so much, Jasmine, watching from Pasig today. And of course, Coach Florence of Vienna. And yeah, so people are watching right now because as you see, Bong, we have a lot of opportunities here, there, and everywhere, right here, right now, wherever you are. So please do the honors, Ferdinand, in
Well,
introducing our special guest this morning
I
or
will
today.
probably won't do any justice in introducing this lady. She was actually an event last Thursday, and
Correct.
she was amazing at this event in Cal State University virtual show, San Bernardino. Anyway, she makes apparel from Philippines, and her company, one of them, it's called Environment Community Hope Organization. That's also Echo
Mm.
Store. She describes herself as an advocate of culture, sustainability, and gender. She was a woman of great entrepreneurial fervor and is now the lead for the Great Women program and brand, which she helped innovate. Well, there's so much about her. I'm just going to get right to the point. Please welcome Jeannie Havelosa of Great Women and Echo Store.
Good
Hi,
morning,
Jeannie. Good
everyone.
morning. Good
Hi,
morning, Jeannie.
hello. Nice to meet you both again, online this time.
All
Yep.
right. So,
So
Jeannie,
you were just saying something about agriculture. In Echo Store, we are the full supply chain of being able to bring farmer products all the way to the retail space. And the
Mm.
idea of sustainability is crucial today, specifically because of COVID, right?
Correct.
So Echo was almost 13 years ago when we started this, and the creation of the supply chain from the bottom of the pyramid all the way to the retail stores and internationally, although through limited and niche markets, has been what we're doing. So the food products is crucial to the need for sustainability.
oh,
Correct.
definitely. And that's the reason why I said that because I realized that after reading your bio, that's what we're needing. We need companies like yourself to be able to organize and showcase Philippine ingredients. But today, I really wanted you to address the US buyers and the US
Right.
market
Mhm.
because I am so proud of some of the products, well, all of the products that you currently have. And I wanted you to talk about your company, but also how amazing these products are. And you're just looking for people to really appreciate them. So go ahead and do that.
Thanks a lot. So Echo Store first is food products basically, and when you mentioned cacao, so Iloilo has Criollo cacao, a very unique heritage kind of a product. And so my suggestion for all the people internationally is that if you want to bring products from the Philippines, let's do so with a niche and difficult to find. So this is where we stand on the artisan and or the specialized kinds of products. Now, because food is difficult to be able to bring in to the US because of the Food and Drug FDA rules, and it's very, very difficult, especially for those who are just starting to be able to bring food in, we focus on the very niche. So when I say niche, it's really a limited edition because it's going to become a little bit more expensive with higher profit levels, but it's also showing our culture as a country. So we have heritage rice from the Ifugaos. You have adlay, which is almost like a very unique kind of a quinoa, which is only found
Mm.
in the Philippines. So we have these kinds of products that are food. However, it is much easier to be able to export non-food products for now, especially since the COVID the dilemma that we're in the pandemic. We need to look at sustainability at the core. So if it is Eco Store, our focus has been the food industry, which is the greatest pollutant in the world, number one in the world pollutant. The second pollutant is textiles. And we're also there under our secondary brand called Great Women, which is really a full integrated supply chain of the textile industry, which we have tried to develop and revive in the country because it's been dead. So we mentioned Iloilo again, and my father is from there, and my mom is from
Oh.
Negros. So I'm Visayan actually, and it's nice for you to mention Iloilo, is because the first ever
Wow.
center for weaving in the Philippines historically is Iloilo in Panay, specifically Miagao. Now in Miagao we have a full partnership there with the Department of Science and Technology. We are the private sector partner in creating the first ever blended yarns. Now, if you understand textiles, the challenge with our industry locally is because there are no yarns. We
Mm.
need to import from India and China cottons. But now we're producing blended yarns that mix together muge, abaca, piña, and a little cotton. So this will be the first time. And now our weavers are beginning to just do an R&D on this. But because we're about the full supply chain, in the past maybe 2-3 years, our focus has been hand-woven textiles from our small indigenous communities and women cooperatives from the very north of the country to the south. So we have textiles that are now contemporized. So we've
Correct.
unlocked the tradition and heritage of our culture and brought it to a space that is contemporary. I'd like to highlight my jacket, Ferdinand and
Correct.
Jonathan. This jacket is from upcycled threads, okay, from Camarines Sur. When you see my jacket, it is almost timeless. Because what we want to do in Great Women is to make sure we stand for slow fashion, and you don't have to buy a jacket every month. You buy this
Correct.
jacket, you wear for the next 10 years. That's
Wow.
sustainability. It's hand
Yes.
woven with the spirit of our women's hands and our people. It's beautifully, elegantly designed. And these are the kinds of products we create now under Great Women. So I mentioned great, and I'd love to show my slide if you'd allow
Sure.
me. Just
Sure.
quickly allow people to capture the work that we've been doing visually.
Yes,
Okay?
please. Yeah. There
Thank
you go,
you.
Jeannie. Yeah.
So maybe you can just show the first image, which is the cover image, just
Yeah.
because I want them to see how contemporary the things we create. You look at the jacket up there, the pink jacket is upcycled threads, which we help the weavers with in the weaving angle, all the way to the looms and the yarns, and allowing them support for financial capacity, guaranteeing capital sometimes, and guaranteeing market because they follow our design directions. And so when you look at this, you can dress it up, dress it down, go to work with it. I mean, put it over you, but it's really all handmade. The bag
Correct.
below is a bag that you can carry on, travel with, work with, shop with, basically do everything with, and it's long term. So this is from Binacol, Ilocos. Again, communities that are creating their own unique designs. But what we have done is create contemporary colors, formats for the international market.
So,
when
Jeannie, yeah, quick
yes,
question, Jeannie. So,
yes,
even with our model here, right? Yung
yes,
necklace niya, the necklace, right?
yes.
The necklace, the accessory, and
Those are
then
all
the
handmade,
the sweatshirt and the bag. The three products are all handmade, right?
right? Not the
Coming
jeans.
from where?
They're
Yeah, that's my next question, Jeannie. How about the jeans and
No,
the
not the
shirt?
jeans. Not the jeans, okay? I mean, I'm
Okay.
just saying that you can pair it up with contemporary
Oh, yeah,
items. That's where I'm coming
very
from,
cheap,
right?
very sleek and
Yeah.
chic, right?
Yeah, sleek and chic
Yeah.
and stylish and timeless. A jacket
Yes.
that's not going to go off style, and a jacket with a story. So if you allow the next slide, please, I
Yeah,
can
but
explain.
again, Vinny, another interesting thing that you mentioned is
Yes,
about
yes.
sustainability. You mentioned
Mhm.
about the one you're wearing can be for 10 years.
Yes, of course. As long as you take care of it well, you use it for the next 10 years.
Correct,
Because
correct. But my question is on the business point of view, is it good that the
well,
product they buy now and
we
then they'll
need to
just
look
buy
at
another 10 years?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you see, Jonathan, that's where we stand for. We need
Yeah.
to look at business as people, profit, and the passion that
Planet.
we do,
Yeah.
and planet,
Yeah.
and profitability all together now,
Correct.
precisely
I
because of
agree.
the pandemic. We can't just think fast fashion anymore. You want to do business, look at businesses that are sustainable, that help the planet, that help people. And this is a
Yeah.
supply chain, right?
And that's
Whole
one
supply chain.
that's one interesting thing that you mentioned, because me, I mean, yeah, I've been, like engaging in business schools, lecturing and all, the MBAs and all. And we never have thought that, of course, every time we talk about sustainability, it's sustainability for the business. But with what you're doing right now, which is very, very interesting, is it's sustaining the consumer as well, which I think is very critical, one of the critical success factors in this new digital economy, right? If you
Right.
want to thrive in this business, it should be sustainable for your customers or consumers, right?
And
All right.
also
Yeah.
because the new direction for business is that we need to create sustainability for the
Yes.
planet and
Yes.
livelihood. A lot of our overseas Filipinos who are coming back to the country are going to look to businesses. Can we
Yes.
suggest to them to look at businesses that plug into existing supply chains and not start the whole supply chain? Because it's crazy. I mean, this is what we've been doing for past 13 years. It's mad,
Yes.
literally, in being able to move all the way up from the ground all the way to global market. Very hard. So we
Jeannie,
need to
we
work
have a comment
together.
here. We have a comment here. I don't know if you're looking at it.
Yeah.
RG from Iloilo. This makes me want to go to Miao Gao
Yeah.
and check
Oh,
that out. Miagao,
yes. Yeah.
Miagao, and
Oh.
check that out.
So
Support
there.
and wear local. Guys,
Yes.
support
Exactly.
and wear local. Pilipinas muna tayo. Jeannie, we have so many interesting things to discuss, but I think we have to pause for a break for now. And then
Sure.
once we go back, yeah, let's continue your presentation. Okay, so Planet
Sure.
63 will be back. This is Coach Jonathan, products from the Philippines, products for the Filipinos.
Building a home for your family in the Philippines? Get connected with the right partner. Your house and lot, condominium, home improvement, and loan takeout is made easy with PNB's OPHL. It's available at PNB LA, New York, Tokyo, Nagoya, Singapore, Hong Kong, and Middle East. OPHL allows borrowers to pay in local currency without remittance fees. No co-borrower required. Qualified borrowers must also have good credit standing, stable employment, and sufficient disposable income. Loan up to 80% of the property value and enjoy easy payment terms. Visit the nearest PNB branch to apply today.
All right, Bong. So we're back. Ferdinand, all the way from Planet 63. So how are you? So you see the intensity of the discussion, right?
Yeah, I mean, you and Jeannie have a lot of interesting points. I'm just looking at it from how the heck do I sell this in the U.S. market?
Well, actually, Ferdinand, that's why we put up this show, right? This is a weekly show for us to, like connect Philippine manufacturers, whether, because, we are at ground zero right now. Yes, maybe some of you are scared to start something, no? But you see, with Genie, with, some manufacturers from the Philippines, putting all this together with this vision, with this mission, and of course, Ferdinand there being a partner in the US, and of course with, not to mention the support of Dr. Vipin and Frank, no, of the California State University. I think we can attract a lot of Filipinos who really have those precious resources. Ferdinand, just imagine an OF owning hectares of cacao farm, in Iloilo. Let's say another OF from Italy or from France for 10-20 years who has like a peanut, plantation, a banana plantation here. So they're just scared, right? I mean, that's why they want an opportunity that they can see immediately the benefits, right? But if we can help them really and then put things aside, then yeah, we're off to go. We're
Yeah,
off
and
to go.
that's the reason why I like what Jeannie is saying, and then we're going to bring her back into the discussion because her products represents world class quality, and to me, I've always just wanted to make sure that we always have the Philippines in a certain light. You know what I mean? Especially in the U.S. market, that Philippine products are amazing, right? And she's one of them, and we hope to continue to keep supporting Philippine manufacturers, in terms of exporting their products into the U.S. market. And that's why I'm glad Jeannie's here.
Yeah. But going back to your point, Ferdinand, no, but how can we market it? In fact, this is one thing I've seen, no, for the past few months, that when you really have a value, I mean, a product of value or a service with value, you will create demand. I mean,
Correct.
you can demand, because as you build yourself, right? As you build yourself up, they will come. The right people will come. Just imagine if I am a Filipino, I don't want to sound patriotic or nationalistic, but I have to. If I am living in the U.S., I'm well off. Not this, because the price is not that high. In the next few minutes, we're going to discuss that. There's a demand, right? Like, for instance, Bong, I'll treat you, Ferdinand, non-Filipino who would like to bring in the products of Genie.
Mhm.
Just imagine with the technology right now, you just put up your website. Of course, Genie will support you on that
Mhm.
because it's a niche product.
Correct.
I don't know if you will agree with me, but if you want to thrive in this new digital economy, you must have a product or a service that has a niche. Because for me, when we study it, if a product has a niche, all you have to do is find the value. Why? Because there's there's a product, or there's a price for every product, a product for every price. It goes the same with the person, right? Because I'm in the service industry. Some people will say I'm expensive, but I will tell them, don't ask me or question me why I am expensive. You ask my competitors, or should I say competitor, providing you that kind of education and business master classes, why they are so cheap. You get it? So rather than you challenging me why this is expensive, why not ask yourself why they are selling it so cheap? So what's my point? With a product like Genie, I think because it has a niche, it can drive demand. And just imagine, Ferdinand, you're a non-Filipino and you get this 1,000 inquiries that, hey, I want that kind of product here in the US. It happened to us, right? I have a client, for sure Genie knows them. Uh, uh, Iha. Yeah, later on I'll ask Genie. Iha and Obra ni Juan. Obra ni Juan, I think. Yeah, they do that. They're also from the Panay Island, right? I think in Capiz naman, And they tapped me as a consultant before because there's this French lady who's well known, of course, in France, who was attracted to their brand, and she even flew all the way from France to go here in the Philippines to check their warehouse, and they made the deal. You get it? So this person, because the product is a niche and drove demand, whatever the price is, because I believe there's a price for every product and a product for every price. So just imagine that, Bong. Maybe a lot of US buyers are, listening, or they can watch our replays. And think about it. There's a product that will drive demand. And if you are in business, why not bring that product there? There's already a demand. You know what I'm saying? There's already a demand. And you don't have to do marketing really. Because in this new digital economy, marketing is the simplest or the easiest way that you can do. But driving business is another thing.
Well,
Maybe we can hear more. Yeah.
no. I wanted to add on. I completely agree with everything that you're saying. I mean, just to be more specific, going back to Genie's products, Genie's products are amazing. I mean, the U.S. market is always looking for something unique, especially when it comes to handmade. Okay,
Yes.
something unique. Because in this digital economy, I spoke to her last week. I said she was looking for a group of people or maybe a niche, and I think going back to what you said about digital economy, being able to present a product like this, where maybe before the internet, it would have been hard to find a niche. But with
Yes.
her, social media like Pinterest, all the different apps, Facebook, all that stuff, it can help you find that. And that's what Planet 63 does sometimes to a lot of
Correct.
people who are trying to get into the US market.
Correct. And Genie's product has a niche, right? And there will always be Filipino in every space of this planet. What's interesting here, RG Bacalian again mentioned, I love Genie's point about starting businesses with local suppliers or local supply chain. Not start something new, right? Support each other and sabay-sabay aangat ang Filipino. You'll never know whose life you'll touch with the product you have. So again, yeah, what's interesting about Genie is she has a platform. all you have to do, of course, is introduce the product. Of course, there will be a quality control on that, but basically the end-to-end point of doing it is there. That's why, those possible importers, no, will be, driven by this new technology and product. So let's bring back Jeannie again. I think, yeah, there you go.
Could we
Jeannie,
go to the next slide?
yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah. So the whole platform is called Great Women. Great means gender responsive economic action for the transformation of women. And what we do is we consolidate small women products and or male companies that support 50% women and employ them. And we focus so far on the textile supply chain, although we also have food and coffee. So basically we do development, including collaboration and access to the global market. So the next slide will show you that we had to start a retail arm, which is called GW, and everything is driven towards the market. You don't create something just because you want to. You're creating it for a niche market. So we bring everybody towards a direction of the niche, artisan, handmade, uniquely designed, limited edition. Because even in export, if you want, and this is the challenge with the Philippines, all the time there is a big demand for export. They can never meet the capacity, number one. Second, they might be able to do one shipment and it's never a return order. Number two, because of quality. So you have capacity and quality, quantity and quality, which is two things we always have to balance. So when we take a look at what we're doing with Great Women and Eco Store, we realize this. The small the small producers can only produce so much. So what we do is standardize everything, and that's why we have the platforms of Eco Store for the green and Great Women for gender, while we do the good in the back room. So if you allow me the next slide, I'd like to show you that why we need to niche our products in the US is because you will not stand out if you're going to be like anybody else. Why do you think the quinoa of Peru is selling? Or why do you think the alpaca shawls and scarves? It's because it's unique to the country. So as a country, we must brand our products unique to our culture. And this is why our culture supports the social impact that we have. So we integrate the supply chain. Not just one part, we look at every step all the way up. Okay, so the next slide will show you, if you could raise it up in the next slide, is that for the textile industry, we have managed to work with almost close to 40 weaving handloom communities from the north to the south of the country, literally changing and transforming their designs into something contemporary, looking at the technical aspects of the width, of the capacity for home, the color combinations. In the US, the colors cannot go ethnic, or you only sell one, for accent. But you want a sustained market, and you need to know the colorations and trends of home, which is mostly minimal and mostly they look at fine cottons. So you're not going to mix polyester. Again, when you look at it, if a weaver were just weaving by themselves, they are going to use polyester, which is a no-no in the global market. But if you begin to put piña mixtures with abaca, the sustainability of cotton and the blends, that's totally Filipino. And that's where we want to go with this. Okay, next slide. So we also work with a lot of indigenous peoples. We cannot forget them. This is an example of an international product which we did with a French designer, Christian Louboutin, and he's a luxury designer. What we did was solidify the complete sourcing, supply chain, material requests, the codification of the textiles, the transportation, the sending of it, and the creation of what we supported in design, although it's his design, but the full back room was us with Great Women. Okay, so even if a weaver can only give maybe 50 yards of this specific design, standards around allow us now to times 40 this with the different groups, right? So
Jeannie, there's a quick question here. Sorry.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
For this specific type of bag, no, because you mentioned this is for
luxury
export. Yeah, right. Luxury to, right? Christian
It was
Louboutin.
designed by Christian Louboutin, and it's a limited edition, sold out. Everything's sold out.
Correct, right? I mean, what's the production time? What's the production lead time for this, Jeannie? Itong
Yes,
nasa kaliwa, yung black type ko to eh. for
Okay,
my wife. Oh.
so we work. Yeah, well, it's almost $1,700 when this was sold, and it
Yeah.
was sold out. So the whole idea is we have to niche with design anything we create, because if not, we're just going to be up against China and India, and we cannot
Yes,
compete.
yes,
We
yes.
cannot. So what is great about the Filipinos is their sense of design, the unique culture, the heritage, and therefore, if you export it to the U.S., Ferdinand, our first touch point are the Filipinos. Second
Yes.
touch point are the second generation Filipinos, right? Because they need
Yeah.
to know our culture. The third touch point are the friends of the first and second generation
Correct.
Filipinos who know us. We need to market it in a strategic way and not just go there. And that's
Actually,
why all
Jeannie,
of
yeah,
this,
Jeannie, you're right. No, you're right.
yeah,
The tertiary market, right? The primary is given, the secondary is given, the tertiary is given. So what else can you ask for? But specifically for this bag, 30 days. Will it take 30 days for
no,
someone to weave it, or how many people
no,
will do this? From design to
yes.
manufactured bag.
Because it is a full collection, it took almost 8 months before, because they had to choose the weaving that had to be
Oh,
given. So the weaving at least takes 30 days, or we like to say at least 45 days. And then this is shipped. So shipping would take another what? Maybe a week or 2 weeks. It depends on how you want to ship it. And the cost will vary. So at
correct.
the end, the design production was that all our textiles, all the requirements of hand embroidery, sequins, and everything was sent to both Italy and France for consolidating into the sewing with the leathers. So it was a full global supply chain that we worked with.
Wow.
I'd like to say that we were on the mark when we came to the production, the design, and the fulfillment. On the
Correct.
next slide,
Jeannie,
yes,
for 8 months, how many how many units were we able to produce?
3,000. We produced 3,000 bags. This is
Wow.
Christian Lobutan with
Yeah.
us. He came all the way here with his team. This are our indigenous representation of some of our weavers when we did a full press photo shoot, no, for the
Yeah.
global launch. Next slide. This is just an example I wanted to show you, in that all the things we're creating now is really looking at it for a niche branded for our country, but also because they don't have to say, oh, that's Philippines, but it's a fantastic textile. It's a fantastically simple jacket that you can wear over and over again. And the same with our
Correct.
bags. And the next slide will perhaps show you our corporate gifts. Okay,
Correct. But
gift
by the way,
giving.
this one that we're showcasing, Jeannie, is the one you're exactly wearing right now, right?
No, this one is also from Iloilo. It's a different traditional design, but if you look at it, it's very contemporary, right? So even my
Mhm.
jacket, it looks so contemporary when you take a
Correct.
look at it. Yeah. You
Correct.
can use you put it, you go put your jeans on, the spring
Correct.
weather, the summer weather nights, the nights of summer can be cold. So this is perfect for that. We
Correct.
also have a series of corporate gifts of all the different kinds of textiles. Now, this is where we can do private labeling, all right? Because corporate gifts can be ordered way ahead, and you can sell it there and then actually reproduce it here and ship it over. Again, this is not China level. This is more expensive and niche because
Mhm.
everything is handmade, everything is locally produced, and the quality is fantastic. So
Correct.
we're looking at highlighting the top level of Filipino design, handicraft, as well as artisan created works. Artisan. This is very hard to find today because everybody is just using machines. And
Mhm.
yes, okay, you use machines, you make cheap products, and then you throw it away after 6 months or a year.
Correct.
These are guaranteed to last for years and decades. I mean,
Correct.
we created this we started with this almost 10 years ago, 12 years ago. We're still using it. It's top quality. Perfect gift for
Yeah.
CEO and the foreign market. Okay. So the next slide, and these are approximations for the Philippine market. We've also highlighted traditional abaca textiles. We've shown this in the New York Artisan Fair in Javits. They've had limited orders in Spain, in Portugal, but small limited orders. Again, I'll say it's small and limited. Why? Because we cannot have exact each and every one,
Correct.
because each product is handmade. And this nuances of a little different is because the weaver might have changed it a little, and we must allow this. And that is livelihood too. That's why earlier in the show I mentioned for the overseas Filipinos who want to do businesses locally, let's just join together. You know, if you say, okay, Jenny, I want to do just your envelopes. Okay, what textiles do you want? You want to stay with one community? Are you from Sulu? Are you from Mindanao? Here's the community from Mindanao. Stay with them. Sell your culture. You sell your culture. The Filipinos are all over the world, right?
Correct.
And then
Correct.
we have indigenous peoples, and this October is Indigenous Peoples Month. So
Wow.
when you look at this, don't start something new all the time. Business can be done in collaboration with
Yeah.
supply chains, and that's my message. Because we've seen so many Filipino small producers attempt to start, and then they cannot get to the global market because
Exactly.
it's too long. The reach is too long. The equipment, the materials, your product development, your packaging, your design, your branding, your marketing, your exportation, the FDA
Everything.
certifications. Oh my God, if you were a small producer, you'll give up. So my
Correct.
call is let's just join in platforms. And that's why Great Women is all about women businesses. All of these are women businesses with us. We put in
Correct.
design, right? Marketing. The same with Food in Eco Store. All are green producers, small. We bring it up to the market through the platform. So this is
Correct.
really where we
Yeah,
are.
so Ferdinand, yeah, after hearing Jeannie, because we'll take our last break, but after hearing Jeannie, what do you think? You're from the US. You think you still need marketing? I don't think so. It's about, I hope, if they will watch this show after this, you will showcase this on your own website. For sure, there will be a lot of inquiries because, here, us from the Philippines, if you need resources, if you need talent, skills, products, we have it. We have it, right?
What we're trying to convey to the U.S. market is that the Philippines is great for a lot of unique products, quality
Yes. Yes.
okay. And to me, looking at it, Jeannie, I've always been impressed by the products. What I would sell the product for, it's because it's unique. People who can appreciate quality and the uniqueness. Because you're right, a lot of people will be fooled and try to go with something cheap. Okay? That's usually the case. You cannot fight that. But the the U.S. market is so diverse that yeah, you don't need to get everyone. You just need
No.
to get the ones who really appreciate that, and there is a way to do that. I know we can help because of the
Yeah.
fact that the product is of high quality. I would want to see more success for your company because it's not just your company that you're
No,
representing. You
it's
represent
not.
the Philippines. Okay.
We
Correct.
represent so many small producers, really. So it's just that I happen to be carrying the platform and throwing it over to you, Ferdinand, to see what we can do. But remember,
Exactly.
more than
Exactly.
this, more than this, however, is the fact that if a Filipino sold something which they connect with, if somebody from is over there from Iloilo and you sell a miag something, or if you're from Camarines Sur and you're selling this jacket, it connects to you more. You
Yeah.
carry the spirit of our people when we sell it, and that's what we brand together, our country and the products.
Believe
Yeah.
it
And
or not,
Ferdinand, sorry, Ferdinand, to add to what Jeannie mentioned, in every business, I don't know if, us as business people here, Jeannie, Ferdinand, and myself, we always start with the market, right?
Yeah.
And Jeannie mentioned, I mean, don't start something unless you identify your niche. But here,
correct.
Jeannie mentioned not just a niche, the tertiary, because I'm teaching this, right? You already have the primary, the secondary, and the tertiary market. What else are you looking for? We have the product, we have the logistics. Of
Mm.
course, what we need basically, or what Jeannie need, is someone like you there, Ferdinand, in the US and around the globe to carry this, because for sure every Filipino will be touched by this kind of product. Guys, we will be back. We will be back for our last commercial break. It's very intense right now, but of course, we only have a limited time. But let's pause for a break and we'll be back. Manage 63, product from the Philippines, product for the
Filipino.
Filipinos. So we're back 20 minutes past the hour of 9 in the morning, 9:20 a.m. here in the Philippines. Good afternoon. Good evening there in the US and all around the globe. So I just want to greet Professor Nino Irolian of the Ateneo Graduate School of Business, and of course Flores Tere, and Wilbert Fish Kiambao, and of course RG Bacalyan. You know, he has a comment here, Ferdinand. It says here, we sometimes are engrossed with other countries' culture and brands, but we forget na meron pala tayong magagandang produkto dito. Raw ingredients and materials too. Thank you for watching RG and Wilbert of Titanium Lining Corporation, and they're based, interestingly, in Iloilo. And also Coach Edward Obiena. You know, interesting topic, marketing professionals and entrepreneurs, global marketers should listen to this show. So Ferdinand, we're again back to the last part of our show. How are you? How do you find it so far after 2 episodes?
I want to go ahead and address what one of the guests is saying about raw ingredients. Okay, one, I am enjoying myself in this discussion, but I'm always looking at everything as a U.S. buyer. But the thing that I wanted to add on to what Jeannie's doing is what one of the viewers said about raw ingredients. She's created the infrastructure, right, to be able to deliver these goods to the U.S. market. But it doesn't have to be technically finished products also.
Yeah.
The Philippines is full of amazing natural resources, and one of them is albaca. And did you know that albaca can not just be used for clothing, but also can be used in cars, the inside of the cars. That's raw material that maybe a lot of Filipinos don't know about, but that's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't have to be finished products. It could just be in its rawest form.
Correct. Yeah. And then also, interestingly, we have to really understand, you know, the story behind the product. For me, because again, I'm addressing the new normal, right? The new digital economy, wherein most buyers, right, are very emotional. You get what I'm saying? Very emotional. That's why entrepreneurs need to be more emphatic. And, you know, by your product and service alone, they'll see your empathy. And it's all about culture for me, right? At least, right? That's why when you do a product, or when you market a service or a product, for me, it all boils down to one thing. What's the story behind it? Right? Because basically, this is what they're going to buy.
Yes.
Again, guys, there's a product for every price, and there's a price for every product. Yeah, so let's bring in again Jeannie for her words of wisdom as we end our session today. Jeannie?
Thank you. Words of wisdom through hard knocks. You have to fail a lot as an entrepreneur, you know, especially as a social entrepreneur. So anyway, inviting all of you to take a look at what we have in our website under the retail arm, which is www.gwbygreatwomen.com. And our information platform is greatwomenglobal.com.
Okay, there you go.
Food product is ecostore.ph. So we're in Instagram, we're in Facebook, we're in wherever you'll find a place where we could talk about the Philippines' best unique products. We're actually there. So this is the textile side now. We're launching the home collection. Again, more niche and really quality handmade products. The one you mentioned in Iloilo, the French designer who went there, and she saw one of the smaller groups. My challenge is always, do they come back? You see? We need to create a relationship at some point, no? To be able to make sure they come back. So our challenge is, because we've been only doing everything in the Philippines, and it's only international people who come here, who see it, who bring it out. We've not gone the full length at this point, Ferdinand, because before COVID, we had this whole series that we've of selling shows in the Philippines, as well as a fashion show. So everything now was stuck with us. And then COVID happened. So what is the positive thing for this now is Christmas is coming, right? So we have the whole stock of items that are bags, jackets, corporate gifts, little accessories. They're all available, and we want to look at drop shipping perhaps, and or the potential for small little export products, because you don't need FDA for non-food. These are textiles, right? So you can ship it, you can order, you can ship. Somebody who wants to sell it to their Filipino friends can do a minimum order, a small quantity, check it out with us, have Ferdinand bring it over there. So
Yeah.
it's going to be painless because you don't have to go through 50 people looking for the product. So just come to us and you will have the 50 weaving communities and more of our smaller women entrepreneurs and the various products. So that's something we can work on as the Christmas season comes, right? Because
And
Pinoy's
not only that, Jeannie, I just came to my mind right now. Well,
yeah,
if interested buyers around the globe, right? If you
yeah.
wish to talk to the weavers, then we can set Planet 63 special event wherein we will invite the weavers to see you and you will see them as well. Jeannie, we can do that. Basically,
Well,
if they want to see
some
the
of them
weavers.
are in the mountains with no Wi-Fi, and that's the
Oh,
reason why this has worked. Because we do
yeah.
the full stretch. We carry the yarns to them, we give them the design, we pay for
Wow.
them, we give them capital. That's another side to the things we do, you see. Not just
Correct.
selling. We
Yeah.
help them in the expansion of their livelihood so it is sustainable. That's
We
the key part of business.
we definitely need to broaden the narrative or really focus on the narrative, Jeannie, because that is definitely what's going to sell for somebody here. Especially, I wanted to make a quick point. The next generation of Filipinos, they're rediscovering their roots. They see something like this, oh my gosh, that they're going to be interested in. Then it
Yeah. And here's a
in the price point.
may I suggest a business potential for the Filipinos abroad who are coming back. If you're from a specific area and you want to start a business, let's do textiles together, right?
Yep.
Where you put capital in, let's look at the potential profit levels for the textiles, create the line, which then you can also sell to your group because you're
Correct.
from, your friends there. But it's with us. That's why I'm saying you don't have to think so hard because we've done the
Yeah.
hard knocks, we've fallen, we've lost the money, we've got up
Correct.
again, we've
Correct.
done the whole line. And so
All the
we need
bird
those
pains,
partners.
Jeannie, is done. All the bird pains is done. All you have to
So
do,
hard.
I think, what Jeannie's saying is,
Partners.
if you really partners, and if you really have the network there, come talk to us, and we will design something for your network. That's it.
Exactly, because you can have a small subunit for that, right?
Yeah.
Or you want to
Yeah.
say, I'm only coming from Ilocos, or I'm coming from, for example, Davao. I'm from Davao, right? Okay, so
Yes.
here are the indigenous from Davao. What you want to sell? Corporate gifts? Okay, so let's do this. Or you want to sell jackets, but you're staying with the Davao group and you're helping your weavers in your region. That's a business direction, right? And then, just ship
Correct.
it. Go to Ferdinand and ship it. We would have helped you here, right?
know.
Because at the end,
Oh.
it's almost it's just putting the whole platform at work together. We've created it. Let's put it at work into the
Correct.
US market.
Definitely going to connect more with you with the Planet 63 platform, Jeannie.
Sure.
Sure. I welcome it. And thanks for having me again.
Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you so much, Jeannie. We
Thank
hope
you so much.
we hope you will be back again, and of course, update us on what's been happening. Maraming salamat, Jeannie. Salamat,
Thank you.
salamat.
Bye.
All right, Bong. So how are you? It was a very great morning, right? Yeah, because one thing good that that Jeannie shared here is, if I am an entrepreneur, right? I have already identified to you the niche. The first generation Filipinos, the second generation, and the friends or the network of those first and second generation. That alone, Bong, I think will inspire a lot of US importers or global importers for this specific product.
See, Jonathan, my parting comments here is that I hope we continue to fine tune this platform of ours, Planet 63, because I really feel that now, after Jeannie's appearance here, more than ever, I'm convinced that there's a purpose, there's a need for what we do.
Sure.
We hope to continue to bring more people.
Yep, definitely. All right, so again, it's been an hour. Ferdinand, I think it's already nighttime there in the US. Maraming salamat, mga kababayan. And for those of you who watch, Rongambilla, Mabel, of course, watch us. Coach Obiena, Fish Kiambao, and RG Bacalian, and of course, Prof. Ninoy Rolian, Marilian Garcia, Diana Tiamson, Jasmine Sosa. marami pa, no? Marami pa. Eliza Bukoy, thank you so much for waking up this early and preparing yourself for work or whatever you're going to do today. Thanks for watching Planet 63. Again, this is your coach, Jonathan, together with me from all the way from the US, California.
Hi,
It's Ferdinand Soriano. We are again Planet 63, your products from the Philippines,
products
for the Filipinos. God bless you and see you again next week.
It's more fun in the Philippines, but it's more fun if it lasts. SOS is a call for help
to save our spots.
A campaign focused on sustainability
And how applying it can make us better travelers
And more responsible tourists.
to make it simple.
Dapat lang marunong tayong rumispeto.
Respect the environment.
Pick up the trash you see.
Kahit hindi ikaw nagkalat.
Respect our culture and heritage. Magpaalam bago kumuha ng pictures ng mga locals.
At huwag basta-basta hawakan ng sites. Respect everyone around you.
Dapat good vibes tayo sa kapwa Pilipino. At syempre sa mga foreign friends din natin.
Dahil dito sa SOS,
Sama-sama tayo.
and every little act we do can help make a big difference.
At home and while traveling.
Like opting for reusables,
Instead of disposables,
biking and walking more, using less electricity. As long as we're consistent. And we convince everyone around us to do the same.
we can change this country for the better. Huwag natin babayaan ang Pilipinas. Join this cause. Dapat hindi lang maganda ang pinupuntahan nating destinations
Dapat, pinapaganda pa natin ito.
while we're there.
Let's appreciate and take more care.
Of our nature's beauty.
Para more travels tayo around the country,
More tourists, being more respectful, and more fun in the Philippines.
Let's make our destinations last. Save our spots. Save our spots.
Save our spots.
Save our spots.
save our spots.
Para more fun forever.